So today is the 21st of December 2026, and indeed it is my honor and privilege to present a very remarkable young man to you. This young man bears out the scripture which says, train up a child the way he should go, and when he's grown up, he shall not depart from it. Brethren, this is a young man who left the shores of this nation a couple of years back, and today, even though he went for further studies, but today he's into full-time ministry. He's a pastor. He's making global impact. And indeed, he has come back for a visit to his roots. So we present to you the man of the week in the person of Mr. Otu Excellent. You are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here today, and I really want to appreciate the church for this opportunity to share a story which is going to be inspiring to a lot of people. Thank you very much.
Now, indeed, we understood when you left this nation that you were going to pursue medical studies in Russia. But what happened along the line? How did you find yourself into full-time ministry so that today you are a pastor? What happened?
Okay, so like you said, you rightly said, I went for studies, and actually I am still studying. So I'm still studying. Well, I would not say I am into full-time ministry, because my knowledge says full-time ministry means you are doing only ministry. At the moment, I'm still a student, and I still work. I'm not depending on the church, so I'm not into full-time ministry. But ministry is my number one. It's the number one priority right now for me. So I went there for studies. Firstly, I have always been ambitious. Ambitiousness is a very, very important thing in my life. I've always been ambitious. I left Cameroon. I was aspiring to be a medical doctor. I actually passed the medical concours. They call it concours here, or the entrance exam into the Faculty of Medicine. But I left it because I found an opportunity to study abroad. So when I went abroad, my ambitiousness kept me. I did everything that I could to continue in the same field which I have chosen, although it did not really turn out well for me, because I'm not from a very wealthy family, and I had to pay my own school fees, and everything does not just come on a bed of roses for you. But I still found myself studying another course which I also like. I've always wanted also to study, which I would use in the future. But along the line, as God would have it, I became a pastor. It's a story which I would say I was running from. I have been groomed from full gospel mission. When I went to Russia, I arrived in Russia on the 26th of December 2021. So that was after Christmas. Yeah, exactly today. 4 years exactly today. So when I arrived in Russia, everything was going well. The first Sunday, I went to a church. I followed, I didn't know anyway, so I followed this person, the person who picked me up. We went to church. It's called the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Days. Like I was brought up, they told me any believing church that speaks about the death, the crucifixion, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ and how it brought us salvation, of course you're allowed to fellowship there. So I went there. Well, I didn't feel at home there. Second Sunday, I still went there because I was living with him literally. So after during the crossover, I contacted a pastor. I went online. I searched about churches in Russia, and I found Christ Embassy. Christ Embassy was the first church. I reached out to the pastor. I got his number. I reached out to him. We spoke, and I found myself in Christ Embassy during the crossover. It was nice. Everything was good. Everything was fine. But one challenge I had was that Christ Embassy was a little bit far from the place where I was living in. So the first Sunday of January of the next year of 2022, I attended Christ Embassy. I was playing there. The first Sunday which I went there, I told the pastor I was a musician. They gave me an opportunity. I find myself serving there. The second Sunday, I still went there. But the third Sunday, I discovered that there was another church which was closer to me. There was the Omega Fire Ministry. And I said, okay, I'm going to go there because my uncle, my mother's younger brother, is a pastor of Omega Fire Ministry. So I said, oh, let me go and visit them. So I went there, I visited. The same Sunday I went there, I played, I served there as a musician, and I was serving. And that is how I was just there like for 2 years in Russia. I had a pastor there, Pastor Richmond. He was a Ghanaian. He was studying general medicine. And after his course, he decided to go back home and continue even ministry and everything there because he didn't like the weather and everything. Well, there are other things which he gave as reasons why he was leaving. So after he left, they called me, the leaders of the church, because they have seen me. The pastor, at one point in time, the pastor called me and he just said, I have seen that you have God in you, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, everything. So he asked me to preach. And that was the first, I think, 5 months of me being in Russia, I preached my first message in the church, not as a pastor, just as a member of the church. He called me and said I should preach. He called me on Thursday that I was going to preach on Sunday. I remember very well. I was sleeping on my bed. So on Thursday, I prepared a message, and I can remember very, very well. The message was that Jesus Christ wants to be in your boat. It talks about when you read the book of Jonah, and also if you read where Jesus Christ, he went into the boat of Peter. Yeah, so I was comparing that you can have Jonah in your boat, or you can decide to invite, because Peter invited Jesus Christ to his boat, and what happened at the end was a miracle. Peter told him, I am a fisherman, I am good in this field, and he said that I have toiled all night and we have not caught any fish. Jesus Christ, by virtue of Jesus Christ being in that boat, a miracle happened. So you can decide to have Jonah in your boat and face the chaos of life, or you can decide to invite Jesus. Well, that was the message. And fast forward 2 years later, the leaders of the church came to me and said, we have seen that you preach this time, you preach well. We want you to be the pastor of the church, or fill in the gaps before we get another pastor to come. So I told them, well, I would try, but along the line there was a more elderly person, so I decided, no, let him be, since he has the potential also, let him be. I would deal with the discipleship classes in the morning. So I was doing the discipleship class, and the guy, his name was Pastor Martins, he was handling the church. After a year, he also left. So I had no choice. I had no choice than to step into the shoes, and I was made the pastor, attending pastor, by virtue of the vote or the election from the congregation. So that is how I became the pastor of the church at that moment. Thank you.
I understand that the leaders of the church, the local congregation, put you in that position. Now, has the global headquarters of Mega Fire Ministry officially endorsed you as a pastor of that congregation in Russia?
Okay, the answer to the question is yes, because doing the pastoring the church for a year, I mean, at the end of the year, there is a program in the Omega Fire Ministry headquarters, the Restoration City, where it's the Amazing Grace, where all Omega children are expected, if you have the opportunity, to come to the headquarters to join for a celebration. It's called the Amazing Grace. So since it was approaching, I had it in my mind and in my spirit that I will go and make sure that I am seen by our Father in the Lord in Omega Fire Ministry, Apostle Johnson Suleiman. So before I even mentioned it to them, the leaders of the church said, you don't even need to worry, because this is something, it looks like we are having the same spirit. We have seen how well our church has grown. We have seen how much virtue our church has gained and how much revival our church has gained, and we want that we don't need any more pastor from the headquarters. We want you to go to the headquarters and show yourself, so you'll be recognized and also be prayed for and blessed by our Father in the Lord. So I saw that as God's leadership, because it was in my mind, it was also in their mind. So it so happened that by November, just this last month, I went and I met with our Father in the Lord, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, and he prayed for me, he recognized me. We met twice, we met 2 times. He prayed for me, laid hands on me and everything, and he sent me back to Russia to continue the work. So I have been recognized officially by the pastor, or by our Father in the Lord in Omega Fire Ministry.
That's wonderful. Now, you know, many young men like yourself out there have this burning desire to leave the shores of this country and relocate to some other foreign nation for one reason or the other. So what would you say are some of the challenges, or what advice could you give to this youth who would also want to travel outside this nation as you did?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Number one is that if you are aspiring to travel out, it is a good thing. I would encourage anyone who is aspiring to travel out of the country. It is a good thing. It's a good thought, because Africa, although Africa has a lot of opportunities, it so happened that the opportunities are locked in the hands of people. That is the truth. That although Africa has a lot of opportunities, our opportunities are locked up. So if you find an opportunity to travel out, of course, go ahead. Find a good place and make sure that you research about the place, do all the necessary inquiries about that place, and travel out. And when you go out, the first advice I would give you is that abroad is not like Africa. You don't just find that God is everywhere, or there is an opportunity for you to serve God all the time. It is what you have carried from this place that will sustain you. The scriptures which you have from Africa, or the upbringing, the values which you have from Africa, that will sustain you. The first advice I'll give anyone that travels abroad is that hold God tight, because you will not have anyone, you might not find someone that will assist you to grow in the Lord. So what you have to hold it with all diligence. So that is very important, number one. And also when you go there, make sure that the people whom you meet are God-fearing people. Because I know there was a time when I didn't have rent, and it was the church that helped me. God-fearing people that will help you, they will show you the way, they will help you even with jobs. They will teach you things which, how the country is, and the techniques, or the pathways to take, so that you don't fall into temptations or into bad things. Because I know people who went there and they got arrested. And Russian prison is not a joke. They have one of the worst prisons in the world. So there are people who got arrested because they got association with bad friends, and they started selling drugs, and they started doing other things which are against the law, and stuff like that. So make sure that the people whom you associate with are not bad people. Number two thing is that make sure that you are ambitious. I went there, the first job which I was doing, although I'm a pastor now, Russia is a snowy place. There are times when snow gets up to 20 inches of snow, very, very high snow. So I said I could do anything. I would do anything. So as you're seeing me right now, I went there to Russia. I will not be ashamed. The first thing I was doing, I was employed to clear the snow from in public places. They would look at you. I didn't care. I was doing that. I was resilient. I made sure that I did not sleep. I made sure that I did not say, oh, I didn't come here to suffer. I did everything that I did. It only gets better. I'm going to say the first 3 months were not easy. It was during the first 3 months I was almost kicked out into the snow, but God had the way He did it, and He made sure that I was not put to shame as a Christian. There were people that helped me. Just make sure you hold God tight, and also make sure that you make the right relationship. Make sure the people that you're relating with are good people, and be resilient. Do not. One thing I can boast of is that since I went to Russia, my father has not sent 25 francs, not even a dime from my father, that this is to support with this. I pay my school fees by myself. I pay my housing by myself, my feeding, everything I do it by myself, because God has helped me, because I decided not to depend on people, to be resilient. So make sure you put God first, and also be resilient. Make sure that your relationship with people is a God-fearing relationship with happy people, and God will help you. That is the thing. That is it. With that, I think anyone can succeed. God always help people.
Yes, youth out there, you've heard it. It's only God. Without God, you will not be able to make it. You can only succeed with God, as He has explained. Now, before we let you go, where do you see yourself 5-10 years from now? Where do you see yourself, and what do you see yourself doing?
This is a very important question. So if Jesus Christ tarries, number one is that I have discovered that I have a calling, and this calling is to get as many people to the knowledge of Christ as possible, to the fact that Christ came to the earth. He died so that we might be saved, and He brought salvation. He redeemed us, translated us from darkness to light. If you read John chapter 1, it speaks of how we have been translated from darkness into light. And also this scripture which I quoted, Matthew chapter 5, I think verse 14, yes, it says that you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. And he says that no one lights a lamp and put it under the bushel. It means it is possible to be the light of the world and you are under the bed. So, and it ended up by saying that let your light so shine. If you read this in the Aramaic or the original manuscript of the Bible, it says permit your light. It means that is something which you should, your light cannot shine unless you permit it. So my goal is to make sure that I permit my light to shine in every aspect of life, both business wise, social wise, Christianity wise, in marriage, in everything. I want to make sure that in business I am permitting my light to shine. As not just, I'm not going to depend on people, so people can see that there is someone that can be a pastor and also be a very, very successful businessman. You can be a pastor, you can be a God-serving human being, and also decide to be an excelling businessman, or someone who is good in marriage, or someone who is good in everything. So being a Christian, because there is an ideology that Christians are poor people. Christians, they have this, that's why they call it church rat. No, my goal, it says permit, you are the light. You can be the light of the world and still be under the bed.
You are the head and not the tail.
Exactly. You can be the light of the world. It says that you are the light of the world, but if you don't allow your light to shine, you can be the light of the world and no one sees that light. When I got this revelation, and I knew that you need to go out there and show people that I am the light of the world. Although you have been given the mandate as a light, but you need to go out and show people. If you read Isaiah chapter 60, the Bible says that arise and shine. Why do you arise and shine? The reason why you would arise and shine is because thy light has come. So the light came when we were translated from darkness to light. If you read John chapter 1 verse 5, it says light shineth and darkness cannot comprehend. If darkness is comprehended, it means something is covering the light. So if you have a child, or if you should know that this child is the light. If the child is not doing what they are expected to do, something is happening to that light, and you need to do something to permit that light to shine to the world. So how do we shine? We tell people about Jesus Christ. We make sure that we are resilient with Christ, to make sure that we, even in our schools, we are shining. Your child cannot be the last in class. Your child cannot be the last in business. You make sure that you are showing that someone can be. There is this thing, a slogan, they say, fine boy that loves Jesus. Although my child is handsome, if you come, he will show you, he will show you that he loves Jesus. Although this sister is like this, he follow Christ, but in business, this sister is excelling. So children of God, my goal is to make sure that every child of God knows that they are the light and they are supposed to excel in everything. So I am here to revive, or to put an awareness that as children of God, as youths, we are not small. We are the light of the world, and the only way we shine is if we permit our light. How do we permit? We go out there and we excel. In your job site, make sure that you're the best. In your school, make sure you're the best. That is you permitting your light. So people will come and ask you, what is your secret? You tell them it is only God. That is how you have brought someone to Christ. Someone looks at you wherever you are in the office. I gave a story. In my office, they know that I am different. I am different, and if they ask me, what is your secret? How do you do this? I tell them it's because that I have resilience and I know that I am not a failure. Christ in me is the hope of glory. What is glory? Glory is you shining. So I have shown people that it's Christ that is in me that is making me to excel. To answer your question, my goal in the next year is that I would shine in every aspect of life. So when that light attracts people, when they come and ask me my secret, I will show them that it is Jesus. It is Jesus in business. It is Jesus here. It is Jesus here. So my goal is to attract people. So when they come, I show them the way. And what is the way? Jesus is the way. Thank you very much.
Wow. Indeed, this young man just explains his name. He's called Excellent, and indeed he's excellent, as you can see. I wish we had more time to continue, because you are indeed an inspiration to young people. There are youth out there who think they can make it on their own. But thank God for you. You seem to have caught the secret that it's all about Jesus. That without Jesus, you are nothing. Jesus is the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You have to shine like Jesus shines also. And Jesus, it has been Jesus along all the way throughout your journeys thus far. So indeed, it was a privilege having you here. And we hope you will visit us again sometime in the future and share some of your experiences in ministry out there in Russia.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. And I hope this message actually convicts the hearts of people. I hope this brings hope and also brings, I've been in Russia, and I know a lot of Christians, they find a lot of problems, but I would like to say that hold God. I'm telling you the truth. Hold God. There is a time when God remembers people. I hope this message bring a hope in someone's heart who is almost giving up, to tell you that Jesus who was yesterday is still the same today, and it will be the same tomorrow. So just keep on holding God, and even if you don't have your reward yet, there is a greater reward in heaven. Even if you don't have your reward here on earth, there is a greater reward in heaven, and one day we all shall meet on that beautiful shore. Thank you very much for having me. It's been my pleasure.
And on that note, we end. Hold God, and keep on holding God.